what is the connection between sleep and absorption?
Now, what comes to absorption, the difference between sleep and absorption is not sleep. It's more like being in a deep sleep on a physical level. Your body is absolutely relaxed and blissed out. But this is, again, it's quite a deep absorption. There are different types of absorption, or meditative states you may call. Some may seem to be as if you're observing some dream, but you're still retaining your awareness. But this is not a very deep absorption. This is just a normal absorption, which people can also experience when they're falling asleep. They go into this tranquil sort of state where they still partially retain their awareness, and yet they see some images, and then they kind of give into images and lose the awareness of the physical body. So the actual true meditation starts only through this absorption, where your mind is very still through the awakened. So that's why it's called an awakened state. So your mind is very still, but yet you're awake physically. You're not tired. And that the stillness translates into the body as a very, very profound, blissful, relaxed state of being. And the mind is not moving. The mind is not moving, so the mind is absolutely empty. There's no thought, no emotions. This cannot be practiced because this is a result of refinement. So much has been experienced, so much has been let go. Now this is the result. Before you get into that, when you receive that result, you have to face life and see all that which obstructs you from being in that natural being, a natural state of absorption. And so you will face all kinds of imbalances which will be flashing into your face until you learn to let go and understand the deeper, subtler reasons for attachments, for interpretation, misinterpretation, until you detangle all this yarn of thoughts, emotions, stories, ideas of self, desires of finding some validation from the world, and so on and so forth. So, it's an evolutionary, again, being. It's something which is very natural. But in order to come to that natural, one has to go through a lot which is unnatural, and realize that and acknowledge it for being transitory and let go. As long as attachments are there, the mind will be one way or the other linked up with the world through these invisible links, and emotions will be invoked, feelings will be invoked, imbalance will be invoked until these links are there. Once the links are severed and one can just simply maintain oneself in equanimity, stillness, contentment, one is not able to understand what meditation is, no matter how many times a day you sit in a cross-legged position, or what you're trying to visualize. Whatever you're trying to visualize will apply only to your gross emotional reality, where visualization is a tool to help you to navigate in this reality or protect you from this reality, whatever the purpose is. But true spirituality is not magic of manipulating gross emotional reality through your visualization or your mind concentration, anything like that. It's really going back to a natural being which is beyond any purpose, beyond any desires or entanglements with the matter, where you simply let yourself sit and be in whichever position where life, creation are there, but you are detached from that. You simply observe without interpretation or connection, or trying to give one phenomena more importance than the other. So that will be the meditative state. And eventually, the more you evolve, the meditative state is not a state, it's just your being then. Because the more you refine, you realize the meditative state is not a state. It's simply a being that is always there. So you, instead of acting from feelings, emotions, and thoughts, you act simply from that being. And that's why that being no longer attaches or connects to anything which is transitory. Because if you act upon emotion, it means there is attachment or a link of attachment or some kind of entanglement, because that emotion has been invoked by a thought and a story. And the story or thoughts, they connect you in a subtle way to the world. Or when you act from wisdom, because there's a need, let's say you need to make yourself food, or you need to attend to certain chores. So there's a conscious choice of lifting your body and going and doing it. So it's a different approach where you still maintain emptiness of mind, stillness of mind, and you operate from that stillness. So that stillness will be throughout your existence, whether you are laying your body to rest and sleep, or you are operating through an awakened body. Your mind will be at all times the same, or most of the time will be the same, which means we'll be deeply absorbed and aware of all the layers of self, because there is no, in the mind, an awakened mind, all these separations between the deep sleep or dreaming state or physical, all these separations are blurred, and it's just one flow of awareness. So the process of refinement means dissolving these boundaries, dissolving them within self, and simply flowing throughout whichever state. That's why the mind takes over the body. The awakened mind is supposed to take over the body. And it leads the body through all the states. Then the body kind of learns to be also relaxed, because the absorbed mind means the absolutely relaxed, blissful body. And one maintains this throughout the day, throughout the night. So all these boundaries, they dissolve. And that's another notion of breaking through the worldly constraints. That's what it means. Dying to all these different, as if separate states. It's just a state of being, where the mind can be in different modes. The science proved that the mind can experience different, not the mind, but the brain can be different waves, or can go through different waves. So the same way the mind perceives itself in different states, the mind can be dreaming, creative mind, right? The mind can also be absorbed in stillness and simply be. So the mind itself chooses, provided it's refined. But the unrefined mind cannot choose, because the unrefined mind is sort of dragged into different directions, dragged into by different emotions, by different external currents which are dragging one's mind into different directions at the same time. That's why the mind is here and there and all over the place. And as long as the mind in this detangled, in this absolutely imbalanced state, how can it promote the health or the well-being of the body? That's why it drives simply the body insane, and drives it towards disease, decay, aging, and eventual physical loss, death. The mind that is still drives the body towards longevity. The mind that is all over the place simply drains away self and the flesh in which it dwells, and causes all sort of imbalances, because these emotional thought currents, they are not of a balanced nature. Some are connected and processed by certain organs, some are by other organs. So all these organs that are processing this information, these attachments and so on, they'll suffer. So they will be the cause of one's physical decay and death eventually.